Welcome to the City Current Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference, empowering the good. And in this case, we're talking about the power of fashion to make a difference. We're honored to be joined by Angie Brantley. She's the founder and director of TenThirtyFive. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me today and allowing us to share all things 1035. I'm excited.
Absolutely. So we get to talk about clothing and accessories and fashion. So let's start, though, obviously, with you being founder. Give us a little bit of the background and what led you to launch TenThirtyFive.
Yeah, we started out of a mobile boutique. We had a 17x7 trailer where we would take donated items from women in the community and take that to our partner programs. Yeah, a little bit of my personal history, I think, led and planted the seed for that. And I realize now, looking back, many women, young and older women, have at some point allowed others to determine their worth. So fast forward into college, and I remember thinking and chatting with friends, there's got to be a hub, a place that we can share our space, and that may be using clothes as an open door. And so that's where the idea kind of transpired, and then we took it from there. So yeah.
Talk about how it works, because you do partner with other organizations. There's an empowerment piece, a confidence building piece. Go ahead and dive into how it works.
Yeah, we have three arms of our program, one being our voucher program. So we have partnered with 22 programs and groups in the Middle Tennessee area, two of which being Metro Nashville Public Schools, and we're getting plugged into Wilson County Schools. But so we partner with them to provide their girls or recipients with vouchers. This is $100. They get that once every 3 months or more, depending on their need. We often serve those that are homeless. So we understand that their need is going to be greater and they're going to need to come back more frequently. And then they're welcome back again in 3 months. They can get quite a bit with that, a full wardrobe usually, and then can come back with the change of the seasons. Another portion is our mobile boutique. So that has the capacity to take the donations that we have here and transport them to schools. So McGavock High School being one of those. So tomorrow we'll be there with a prom pop-up. We have hundreds of formals, which we put in our mobile, and the girls will be able to take home a prom dress, shoes, and accessories for free. So that, and then our mentoring program. So we have two programs currently where a couple of members of our team talk on things like positive body image, etiquette, all those good things. So yep, that's it in a nutshell.
You mentioned the clothing in terms of donations. So talk about how everything is sourced.
Yes, everything that we have is donated from women, community partners, other nonprofits, a lot of which we get from boutiques in the community. Everything is donated. So it allows it to be, we also have a store. Our store is open to the public Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 5. So that allows us to stay open full time so that the girls can come at their convenience.
When you look at the clothing, accessories, sizes, things like that, talk about, being able to offer a wide variety, having the right sizes. Like, there's a lot of logistics, in other words, for what you do. Talk about that side of it.
Yes, we often have there's certain needs that we need most, right? So those would be jeans, everyday wear, tennis shoes. A lot of the high school students like hoodies and joggers, those kind of things. The typical, teenage attire. There are things that in the beginning we thought maybe we would be using more suits and workwear, but we've pivoted over time, and we realized that there are certain things like the jeans, the solid color shirts that we are asking for. So typically, if we find that we're running low on that, we can put an ask out to the community, and our supporters are very, very great with quickly bringing those things in. There are needs that we always have, which are plus size clothing and tennis shoes, joggers, and sweatshirts, which we use and go through the most. So those are the things that, well, again, when we're running low, we just kind of put an ask out, and thankfully they just appear.
You mentioned earlier on that in some cases, young women have others that determine their worth. And obviously a big part of that is the confidence, and the clothing plays a very important role. And young men, young women, kind of all in the same boat. You want to fit in, you want to belong, and you want to wear the right clothes. And so talk about what you've seen in terms of how this plays an important role in the confidence, in the empowerment of these young women.
Yeah, we consider it a one of many layers that lead to confidence. There's we often serve young women in foster care, and we're aware that she may have everything that she owns, in the bag, which you hear that they've, come into the new foster home. They don't have as much as they would need. So first of all, to be able to clothe her in something that she's going to feel good about walking to school in, or those kind of things, it is one of the layers. So it's one thing to encourage these young women to feel confident, and it's another thing to be able to hopefully provide something that allows her to be able to do that. We often see girls that aren't sure of their sizes. Some have not shopped in a store before. So to be able to, kind of wrap around them and say, hey, let's start here. Let's figure out what your shoe size is. Let's figure out, what your needs are. And they, we consider 100% of the time they walk away more confident than when they came in. So.
One of the other areas is those who have been impacted by trafficking and playing a role in that. Talk a little bit about that side of it.
Yeah, we have partnered with a couple of different groups, Office of Family Safety being one of those for women that have been trafficked. And we have heard from their stories again, and they're in similar boats where we had a lady recently that was going to have to testify against her abuser. And she stated, I want to feel the best I can on that day. And clothing was going to be one thing that was going to help in that, right? So, of course, along with all the other layers that came with, what she needed for that day, but clothing was one of those, and we could easily provide her that. So she came in and she got the clothing that made her feel, a little bit better about conquering the day.
Diving a little deeper on mentoring and that side of it, in terms of how you and your team are giving back on that end, how the community can play a role in that. So talk about mentoring and the power of mentoring.
Yeah, that is, we consider clothing as an opportunity to start a bigger conversation. So once once you're here and we can, provide those things that you really like and you really need, we can talk about all the other things. And mentoring has allowed for that. We still can take our mobile out to the groups that we're serving, but it helps to sit around a table and talk about the things that they're going through, their everyday lives, and also touch on a few topics that, are kind of uncomfortable, quite honestly, that they may not want to talk about. So it gives us an opportunity and open a door to, we realized in the beginning the short time that we had with them, maybe an hour where they were coming in and using their voucher, wasn't enough time or an opportunity to talk about the things that we knew that they really needed, as part of their conversation. So.
What have you seen? Because I can imagine for a young lady to walk in with a voucher, there might be a feeling at first of intimidation, of, not knowing what to expect. But then at the same time, you're shopping and you're interacting, and then all of a sudden you get to see them light up, right? And that becomes then theirs. Talk about kind of that shift of what you get to see when they first walk in the door versus when they leave.
Yeah, it's incredible. We oftentimes ugly cry, which we like to call it, but it's just it's very emotional and moving to see these girls go from, again, their shyness. Oftentimes they don't want to take more than what they think they need. So we kind of have to, hand them stuff to say, hey, let's try this. But what we've heard a couple of times is that, we've had a girl say, I've never worn a dress before. And so, to experience that, to try it on for the first time and walk away again, a little bit more confident than when she came in. It really is incredible to watch.
How has this changed your perspective of clothing?
Yeah, good question. What's funny is I was never one to I don't know, fashion was I guess important for me, but not as important until I realized that it really is life changing for a lot of people to be able to walk into their next day with confidence.
When you look at what this means for you and your team in terms of realizing that you can make a difference, how has this empowered you and perhaps, lit a spark to realize, wait a second, with what we're doing, we can make a very tangible difference and transform the lives of these youth of playing an important role in that. How has this empowered you and your ability to be a change maker and to give back?
Yeah, I feel like there's many avenues that we can serve the community where clothing is concerned. And we have found many ways to be able to do that through this program. And so once we have, and we've known how many places that we could reach out to, we've been able to do that collectively as a team. So we get an abundance of donations, which is a huge blessing for us to be able to figure out, where those things can go. So it's allowed us to meet many people that we consider it an honor to be able to meet and hear their story. So opening our eyes to the things that they are going through and the ways that they've had to endure, and we're just honored to be part of their lives.
Give us some of your goals when you look at 2023, the rest of this year and beyond. What are some of your goals?
Yeah, we are expanding. We are looking for ways that we can help other people in their community. And to be able to find out, what 1035 may look like in their city. So that's one way. Locally, we want to be able to find ways to plug into schools and any way that we can, distribute the abundance of stuff that we get. We want to be able to do that. So.
Talk about how the community can help your efforts, because obviously clothing donations is a big piece of that. Volunteerism to be able to help. So talk about how we can help your efforts.
Yeah, donating is a huge part of what we are able to do. So you can bring those donations in Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 5, and either location. We have one here in Donaldson at 208 McGavick Pike and one in Mount Juliet, 3590 North Mount Juliet Road. So yeah, we'd also love volunteers. We're going to host a fashion show in June, and we will be able to utilize many volunteers for that too. So again, you can reach out on our website as well, 1035.net. So
go ahead and dive in deeper onto that fashion show. And so talk about what that entails.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We have past recipients that model. They get 3 outfits. Everything that they model, they take home. So we have active wear, formal, and everyday attire. So it's fun. It's girls, again, that are recipients, and they just have a blast doing it, hair and makeup. This is one of 2 of our biggest fundraisers for the year. So it's really important to us to have the support of the community, but it really is a fun event. So we're excited about it.
What's something from a social enterprise, social entrepreneurship? What's a lesson that you've learned when you look at founding the organization, the impact you're having? What's something kind of as a leadership lesson that you've learned along the way?
Yeah, I think it's to lead with intention, but also allowing your team to know. We have a small and mighty team here, leading to know, for everybody else to know that you would be willing to do the work that they're asking them to do. Right? We've all kind of pitched in our time on weekends, after hours on Sundays many times, and so. Again, we have a small and mighty team, and hopefully they've seen me be able to, lead the way that I would, do the things that I would ask them to do. So
give me one more thing you wish everyone knew about 1035.
Oh, good question. Yeah, we will accept anything from Target to Jimmy Choo. Yes, we get a lot of good stuff, a wide variety. We get again Target bags. We got a Louis Vuitton yesterday. So yeah, we usually shop here first, staff. So
well, and I think that, that's an important piece of the equation is when you talk about year round, the different seasons and all the different sizes. And like you said, jeans, t-shirts, clothes that's maybe not necessarily branded, but just like a black t-shirt, things that, everyone can wear. Things like that year round, warm clothes, obviously in the winter, jackets, coats, formal wear, casual wear, swimsuits, it's like covering such a wide spectrum because there is such a wide need. That's where the community can really step in and play a very integral role in your efforts. And so wrap it up with, once again, kind of the address in terms of location, and then obviously your website, social media. Where do we go to learn more and to get involved?
Yeah, website is 1035.net, the word spelled out. And our addresses are one in Nashville, so 208A McGavock Pike, Donaldson area, and then Mount Juliet, 3590 North Mount Juliet Road. So, yeah.
Angie Brantley, founder and director, 1035. Thank you for all you and your amazing team do. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeremy.